Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to episode 37 of the Choking Hazard podcast with my usual co-hosts, Sugar-Free Nos over there.
Hello, howdy y'all, hey.
There we go, that's everybody gone. Audience retention has just dipped. That was the moment.
Retention rate.
Yeah. And RDT right there.
Right there. Right.
Yeah, for those who are listening, that means nothing, but for those who watch, you know, I'm actually pointing to the cameras and the locations.
No, if they're driving and they're listening, all right, you're riding shotgun, and RDT and I are in the back seat. That's how it works.
Okay, all right, yeah, fair enough. So, coming to you from your own car, we've got an action-packed episode of gaming news. Gaming news. So it's kind of...
There goes the rest of it.
There goes the rest. Yeah. They're not talking about GTA, that's it, I'm gone.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So we did an episode like this. I can't remember which episode it was, but we kind of just went over a variety of different things that were happening gaming news related. And we're going to do another one. Partly because there's been a lot of gaming news and a lot of Red Dead Redemption news, which we're going to talk about as well. And partly because we didn't have anything else. So, you know, we don't have a guest, so we'll go to other topics. But are we going to start with Red Dead Redemption? Because I know you guys are getting increasingly more and more excited about it.
RDT, which one of us is just gonna... You go first. Alright, because we're both equally excited now.
Hold on, wait, let me count this out. 3 words. That wasn't very difficult to count out.
No, I know what these 3 words are going to be, but...
Dynamic horse testicles. What else do you need?
And there goes everybody else who was watching.
Dude.
The answer is
how
nothing.
Much love and care and detail are they putting into this game? That's all I've read about. I know we haven't played it, but from what I've seen from people that have gotten a preview copy, looks amazing.
Yeah, everything looks fantastic. My
uncle works at Rockstar. So.
my assessment of the stuff, I mean, for one, the reason that I'm allowing myself to get kind of excited about this isn't some kind of, you know, fabrication. Like, this isn't a highly curated 6-minute gameplay trailer, you know, right? This is dozens of people sat down in a room and handed a controller, and then they do what they want, you know, within, you know, this section of the game that they could do. So, yeah, that's pretty exciting. And I think the game so far looks like immersion to the point of ridiculousness, and to the point of some people aren't going to enjoy it because of how immersive it's going to be, I think. Like,
yeah, you know that game that just came out, Scum? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The one where, like, you have to make sure you get enough vitamin D and you don't get sunburned.
Yeah.
Is that right? Like that's true.
We're coming on that territory.
Yes, that's true.
Wow. I'm guessing, I think I know what you're talking, because I've kind of been keeping abreast of the whole situation, but I haven't been, like, looking into anything in any detail or getting hyped about it. But are you talking about the specifics where they've been, you know, played the game and then they'll just do something and then some random stuff will happen and it's just all part of the game experience? Just it seems like
I mean, go ahead.
Like the sort of the strangers and freaks thing from GTA 5, but dialed up to 100.
Yeah, well, I mean, and kind of more in the way of immersion that impacts gameplay, like, you know, having to have Arthur eat and sleep, which, I mean, obviously it says it's not going to be overbearing,
right? But,
you know, that's something people aren't going to like. Some people aren't going to like the fact that they can only carry 2, and, you know, we talked about this in our Red Dead hype episode, you know, back when we talked about it, and pretty much everything I said that I hope is in the game is, like, from what I've read, is the way it is. You know, the weapons you have cosmetically on you. You have 2 revolvers, 2 weapons on your back. That's all you get. Everything else is on your horse. The gameplay,
I like that
gunplay
idea
is going
as
to
well.
be like it's going to be more like Max Payne 3 as opposed to GTA, which is super exciting, which is exactly what I wanted. But
yeah, it's kind of crazy that they took for me, for as far as detail and combat goes, they took a step back from Red Dead Redemption when it came to GTA 5. Like in Red Dead Redemption, you shoot a guy in the knee, he's like limping along. You shoot him in his other knee, he can't even stand up. You could blow his head off. In GTA 5, it's like just, oh cool, I got shot, a little bit of my health went down. That's fine. And it seems like they're bringing that back for this. Like you can blow off limbs with shotguns, and you shoot somebody in the stomach, they hold over their hand over the hole and try to get away. It seems like those little details are what's going to make this game so visceral and just seem so real.
I mean, a dynamic that I was thinking about too that makes me so excited is, Arthur can get dirty and sweaty over time, and if he goes through mud, the mud will dry, and then if say he gets wet and it's cold, maybe that has negative effects on his stats. Like just the idea of I'm a cowboy in the Old West walking along, and I have two paths. One, I can sneak in through a swamp, or two, I can charge them head on. I'm going to charge them head on because I don't want to get dirty. Like that, just that idea of gameplay makes me so excited. Yeah,
I just hope I can get dysentery. That'd be great.
I mean, I've got to say, from now that I've played Red Dead Redemption, the full game, we played it during the stream week and then I finished it afterwards. So I can see exactly what you're saying. Feels like they did take a total step back with the gunplay in GTA. Even considering how old Red Dead Redemption is, the gunplay felt so much better than GTA.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're sort of going to be bringing that back, and I've never played Max Payne 3, but the fact that they're working that into it and it comes so highly rated, Max Payne 3, from a gunplay perspective.
You should play it. You could probably finish it in like 2 streams, max. Yeah. It's a very short game. I would recommend it.
Did you see what he did there, Nos? So 2 streams max. Pain.
Yeah, I saw that. I got that. Yeah,
I'll see myself out.
But it seems like everything that's coming out of Rockstar from and people who've played the game as well, everything seems to be positive. It seems to be like they're doing the right thing. They're making the right moves. They're putting in the stuff that people want. They're making a better game. It's the Rockstar that we know, the one that can make proper games back again, and not the one that we've had.
A lot of these gameplay features, people are like, oh my goodness, this is so new. I've never seen this before, ever. Like, I like numerous articles were like, you can search cupboards and chests, and like that was in Red Dead Redemption. There were these features in Red Dead Redemption that they just obviously didn't have time to build on for whatever reason, or they chose not to, that are now occurring in Red Dead Redemption 2, and people don't people don't realize that these things were in Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
The random events that happen, people, come up to you, my wife's being hanged over there by the hanging rock. You gotta help me.
Over in the holler.
Over in the holler across the way. That stuff was in Red Dead Redemption, but it wasn't fleshed out due to technical limitations or time or whatever. And I think that all of those things that Rockstar probably wanted Red Dead Redemption to be, they have been able to do with Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'm very excited for that in a gameplay sense.
And that's the thing, because it kind of makes you realize that how big of a company Rockstar is and how many things they're working on at a time. The teams that make GTA are, I would assume, completely different than the ones that are making Red Dead or Bully or Midnight Club, or table tennis.
Nobody's making Midnight Club. I'm sorry.
You have these different teams that are working on their own projects, and the overarching Rockstar brand and the Take-Two corporation that's going to I'm not going to get negative, but this game's been in development for like 8 years, I think they've been saying, because the story stems from obviously Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. Oh, look at that segue. Let's segue right into Red Dead Redemption story, because we've talked about the gameplay a little bit. Let's talk about the story. Bruff, what did you think about the story of Red Dead Redemption?
Well, first of all, I am extremely shocked, and I feel like maybe we shouldn't talk about say something spoilerific just in case there's someone like me out there who hasn't played Red Dead Redemption and wants to, catch up on it beforehand. But
spoilers,
I can't believe that I got to the end of Red Dead Redemption after 8 years now of it being out, and I'd never discovered that ending. Like I had no idea it was coming. It made total sense that it was coming now after it had happened, and it was like, of course, that was the only possible ending. But I didn't get it spoiled, and I was so shocked. I don't know whether I had heard the ending before, or seen it or read about it and just forgotten about it. But the ending was poignant, I think, and it was certainly a moment. From an entire story perspective, I just couldn't. It didn't pull me in. I just couldn't get into it, honestly. And I was talking about this after I finished the playthrough as well. That it's just not my sort of game.
Yeah, I think here's what I'm gonna say. I think you went into this game, you were like, I don't like cows and I don't like boys, so I'm not gonna like this game. and you were just, that was it. You were decided. You were lost from there.
I certainly don't like crossbreed, scientifically manufactured cowboys. So
No, I mean, I enjoyed. It's not that I didn't enjoy the game. It's just that I don't know whether it was because it was 8 years old and I've played so many things since then, whether it would have been more impactful if I'd played it back at the time, or I'm just not interested in the whole Wild West scenario in general. It's just, there was just something that I just didn't connect with me. Like, I enjoyed it, but I said this at the end of the stream as well. I was kind of expecting that at the end of playing Red Dead Redemption, I would be more excited about Red Dead Redemption 2. And I just wasn't. I wasn't less excited. I just wasn't more excited either. I'm exactly the same as when I was.
I don't know how you can't, on some level, connect with a character as good and compelling as John Marston. I really don't. I don't know.
The story itself, it's classic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what.
How?
I mean, the start wasn't the best, honestly. The start of the game, I was losing my mind.
That. From a gameplay perspective, we'll talk about some of Red Dead Redemption's flaws, if I could speak as well. The start of the game, my whole dialect is a flaw. But the game does have some problems, and the game starts out very slow. I mean, it takes you 45 minutes to get to your first combat mission, which is not great. So, I can understand that. But once you get further into the New Austin chapter and more into the Nuevo Paraiso chapter, I think the game, in terms of gameplay, opens up a little bit.
I feel like, I don't know,
Mexico and trains.
I don't know whether it felt to me, it didn't make me laugh much. Like from a, I
laugh? That's not the point.
That's not the story at all.
Like, say you compare it to something like GTA, where there are funny moments and there's a little bit of comedy, a little bit of humor interspersed in things. Even some of the best action movies will have some comedy in there as well.
There was comedy in Red Dead Redemption, and
what I'm saying is,
there are two theories to arguing with women, and neither one worked. I mean, come on, it's a great line. What about the speech that Edgar Ross gives you at the end of the game, and John Marston was like, "Why did you say that?" And he's like, "I don't rightly know, but it felt good saying it." And then they walk off to their mission. It's great.
But it didn't make me laugh. It didn't make me laugh.
But it's not the.
Like, no, I didn't find it funny. It was like, it was just another thing that he said.
GTA has and always will be some form of a social commentary, satirical take on what the world is. So whereas you have your serious story and your like deadly gameplay and mature settings, it's still like a funny comical take on different periods and eras of time. This was not that. This was a gritty cowboy for lack of a better term, redemption tale, where he's just trying to get his family back together and get some revenge.
And the game almost opens with a humorous, like, part. Like, implores. I implores you to go back and to tell them to send someone just a little more impressive next time. Like, it's so great. How did you, like, how was that not funny? That was probably the funniest moment in the entire game. And you don't have a sense of humor. You have a predisposition to hating this game. Chat just kept making dumb memes, and you kept looking at it, and it ruined your experience. Everything was wrong, and you're wrong. That's my take on your play.
I hate
That's
you,
my
bro.
opinion.
It just doesn't. It didn't. I can't help it. Like, I can't help that. It just didn't pull me in. I feel like, honestly, at the end of it, I was happy that I played it and I enjoyed it to a certain extent, but
Nah.
I wouldn't have been bothered if I hadn't have played it.
Wow.
That's how I came away from it, and I think it's just because I'm just not interested in that setting. I'm not. It doesn't. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me.
I know now why you like all the futuristic space stuff. It's because you're either a cyborg or an alien and have no human soul.
I don't even think that you have. I think you don't even have to be into the setting to get into the story. I mean, to get into the character.
No, but the setting defines the story so much, because it kind of, you know, the pace of the game is defined by the setting that you're in. You're on horseback, you know, you're doing all these kind of missions that they're from a pacing perspective, they're quite slow, and I couldn't get into it.
Wrong. RDT is better less than loose.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess that's your opinion, but I do believe that you went into it with that state of mind. You had that.
Hey, I was worried I'd be the only one to say that. Hey, good.
Yeah, I think you made up your mind about it before, and here comes Hammer.
And plus, oh, hey, Hammer.
I mean, I went into it with the same sort of mindset as Brough, really, but I loved it. It won me over. And yeah, I see what Brough means about the humour, but I got the humour. I liked it. So, I mean, it's just different opinions, isn't it?
I appreciate your concern for us lesser mortals, Miss McFarlane. I really do. It's great. Like so
I think
lines in this game.
I think you're
so
taking this too. You know, it's not that I hated the game. I didn't come away with an absolute passion of, oh my god, I wish I'd never played that. I'm a worse person for experiencing that game. No, you know, I enjoyed the experience of playing the game. It just, there are games that I would have preferred to play. I would have enjoyed other games more. I just can't help it. I don't watch westerns. Someone asked in the chat, do you like Back to the Future 3? I think it's the worst of the three.
Everyone does.
Yeah, but like...
yeah, just because it's the worst of the three doesn't mean that it's not still excellent. I mean...
Yeah, but
great.
like...
Back to the Future 3 is great.
You know, you're Americans. You obviously have a predisposition to the old West, and it's an American story and all that sort of stuff.
I hate the West. I hate the South, and I hate horses.
Darnation!
I hate everything about my land in terms of horses and chewing tobacco and everything, but I still love the game. So
I also do think that there was an element where the hype that surrounded it, as in the hype that you guys built up, the hype that everybody who I spoke to built up about this game. Sorry that my mic may have been too loud during the start of
he
this.
got a little upset there for a second. It's fine.
During the start of this podcast, it's for some reason it went to 100% volume. Fixed
That's
it.
Skype.
It's probably Skype, yeah. But the hype that it built it up too much. I was expecting to be blown away, and I think that took away from it even more when I wasn't.
I can understand that. I mean, just recently I was like that with Spider-Man. Yeah, I can definitely understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. That you have now, you don't like Spider-Man, and RDT can't believe that you don't like it. It's the same thing that you can't believe that I had a normal experience of playing a game when I should have had an experience where my mind was blown. But I also didn't play it 8 years ago. I didn't play it when it was brand new. You know, I feel like it would have been more impactful back then because it's an incredibly beautiful game. Back then, 8 years ago, that would have been like mind-blowing. But now, with all the hype going into it, I kind of had this expectation on myself that I have to love this game. And as I was playing it and kind of not loving it and just enjoying it but not loving it, it kind of took it away from it even more.
Yeah. Another thing to note too, you didn't do any of the side content as well. I mean, some of the strangers missions are really great, I would say.
That's true. That's true. I didn't, I just played through
honestly,
the story.
Honestly, talking about comedy, that's where the majority of the comedy is in the game, is in the strangers missions.
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's a kind of game that you have to immerse yourself in it, and you can spend hours upon hours of playing it. And I obviously didn't do that. I just went through the story, so I obviously lost a little bit from that as well. But I still don't think it would have been one of my top 10 games of all time or anything. But it's what it is. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Apology
not accepted.
God damn it.
Not accepted. That's ridiculous.
I think that you playing with chat did not help your experience either. Like, how much horsepower does this wagon have? How much horsepower does this horse have, guys? Hey, does this saddle give downforce? Hey, stop.
You know that horses actually have more than 1 horsepower?
Yeah,
that was said in the chat as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're so funny.
I don't watch you
funny.
stream.
What a funny joke.
But I don't know, I just can't.
I should have started.
I can't help the way that I feel, and I'm excited for Red Dead Redemption 2. I am but from more of I'm almost more expectant that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to impress me more than the original game just has. It feels like I'm going into it at the time that it's coming out. They're going to completely, stories have changed in the last 8 years. The game has changed. The gameplay may be even better, and just everything will be so much better that maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 will pull me in a hell of a lot more. I can't help the way that I feel about the original game, though.
I think you should treat this game coming up as less of a Western and more of like an RPG.
That's another thing, though. I don't also, enjoy. I tried to get into Fallout 4 when that was released, and I just couldn't get into it.
That's because Fallout 4 is a bad RPG.
But I mean, the whole when things get too open for me, I can't. I don't know. That takes away from the experience for me as well.
But you don't like video games, do you?
Yeah. I'm starting to reach this conclusion. You don't actually like video games.
I am also coming to that conclusion.
What video? I like Mass Effect. That's it. Mass Effect and racing. That's the only video games I like.
And Portal.
Oh yeah, and Portal.
But
yeah, Fallout 4 was a bad game. Go play Fallout New Vegas.
But I also feel like that's just something that's happened to me more recently, as over the last few years. The less time that I've had to spend on games, the less I've enjoyed the more immersive open world type games. And
I like how Bloody Squirrels goes. Anyone for GeoGuessr? It doesn't get much more open world than that, bro. And you love that game. So it's literally the open world. Sorry to cut you off.
I enjoyed these sort of bigger games back when I first played them, the Mass Effect, GTAs. But now, if I was to play them now, maybe I wouldn't enjoy it as much because I don't have the time to enjoy them or sink as much. It's the same with Red Dead Redemption. I didn't have the time to sink 50 hours into every single little thing and really get the most out of the game. So I'm losing out on the experience
and
because of
the
that.
fact that 50 hours is your definition of sinking time into a game speaks really to how little time you have. I mean,
Okay, fair enough.
that because 50 hours in a good game is nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah, I get that as well, actually, now that you pointed out. But
So-
yeah, that's the way that my mindset is now, you know, I mean, Red Dead Redemption was, I think it took me 13 and a bit hours to just do all the story. And even that felt a lot for the amount of time that I had to
And
devote
plus,
to
you
it.
have to stream it too. I think that at some point you get to a level in streaming where streaming is a detriment to your enjoyment of video games, especially story video games. I think.
Possibly. But then I've had some incredible experience with story-driven video games on streams before.
Well, those are interactive movies. Those aren't video games that you've
ones
been
that
playing.
is
Yeah,
just
that's also true.
Life is Strange and friggin'
Yeah.
know.
But I find those incredibly enjoyable. Like, I think the storylines in those, some of them are, you know, I was going to say much better than Red Dead Redemption, but at least better than Red Dead Redemption. Like, the storytelling in
My
Life is
choices in
Strange
Red Dead
are-
Redemption mattered more than any other Telltale game. And there
I'm
were
not
no
talking
choices
about
in Red Dead
Telltale
Redemption.
games. No, I'm not
Okay.
talking-
There were no choices.
What Remains of Edith Finch is one of my
I haven't
all-time
watched
number
or played
one
that one.
games from a storytelling perspective and just a game design perspective. It's a masterpiece. But I feel like maybe because I've played such games like that I feel like those stories, the way that they tell those stories, the stories themselves, or maybe more the way that they tell the stories, is significantly better than the experience that I had playing through the story of Red Dead Redemption. Maybe 8 years ago, when I hadn't had those experiences and gameplay and storytelling was not as, you know, good as it is now, I would have enjoyed it more back then. I don't know.
Sounds like to me you should have just watched a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption, so you could just have the story
Maybe.
without without actually
doing any of the video game bit in between.
Well, isn't that kind of the way it is with every bit of media nowadays? You have your blockbuster movie, it's like freaking Michael Bay's presents Transformers 80,000, and it's giant, it's huge, there's not much story, there's a bunch of spectacle. And then you have the lower budget films that have great stories and Oscar bait, and they're all like white guilt. I feel bad about myself movies.
Hey,
that
best
win
movie in
Oscars.
a while's been Three Billboards. You seen that movie, by the way?
I
No.
didn't
Not to
watch it.
derail. You need to
Yeah,
watch that.
but that's what I mean. You know, you have these movies that are less on the spectacle and more on the story and the characters. So Telltale games are the Oscar bait, or What Remains of Edith Finch is going to get, you know.
Like those the indie games that don't have the mass
Yeah.
appeal, but I get what you mean with that.
GTA 5 is going to get best special effects because they're blowing shit up every 2 seconds. Like, you have to, there's a delicate balance that you have, and hopefully Red Dead Redemption 2 strikes that perfect
Oh
balance.
man,
That's
look
what
at
I'm
this
hoping for.
segue. All right, so
That's what I'm kind of hoping with Red Dead Redemption 2, that the sort of the progression that we've seen from storytelling in the gaming medium has progressed, and Rockstar have taken it all in, and the storytelling through Red Dead Redemption 2 will be more like what you experience from these really story-driven games in comparison to what it was with Red Dead Redemption 1, where it's just mission, story, cutscene, blah, blah, blah.
and from what I've seen so far, there seems to be a focus on making Arthur Morgan your own in a way, with the decisions that you not only have in terms of the side stuff of the story as well. There's going to be decisions that Arthur makes that puts him on one side of a scale or another. You know,
Yeah.
I forget what they call it, but Paragon and Renegade, for lack of a better term.
Like Mass Effect
you know,
style.
Yeah, at the end of Mass Effect, it was still Commander Shepard defeating the impossible enemy of the Reapers, but how you got to that point, you know, there
It
were
was
choices
your
along the way that
Shepard.
defined your character. Yeah. And I think that there's going to be a focus, or I hope there's going to be a focus on that in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I think they're going to have to really strike a balance in how much they tell us about Arthur, in order for us to really make Arthur our own. Because with John Marston, he spoke many times throughout the story about how, that wasn't our way. We didn't just kill people. We had a moral code. But you can't really stay immersed in that and go out and kill people and rob a train for no reason and everything like that in Red Dead Redemption, because that just doesn't fit Marston's character at that time.
Yeah.
So with Morgan, they've got to be really careful how much they tell us about his moral leanings and his past, to where he tells you got to tell just enough to make him a compelling character, but not enough to where it feels like his disposition is already predefined. Like, for instance, Shepard. Shepard in Mass Effect, his predisposition was not predefined. It somewhat was with the backstories you could choose, but it wasn't so rigid that you couldn't play Shepard the way you wanted. So I think I really hope that Morgan is a good character and a somewhat vague character that you can do what you want with. That's what I hope.
I mean, how do we think it's going to turn out? Do we feel like it's going to be more the storytelling, more intense storytelling, and like a Mass Effect style thing that immerses you into the story? Or is it going to be more open world, anything can happen, beautiful expanse experiences, that kind of thing, and the story will be, just a sort of secondary to that?
Go ahead, RDT.
I think the story is going to be good. I think it'll probably be more of the latter. As far I don't think it's going to be some sort of award-winning, life-changing story. But I don't think that's the part of the game that's going to win it all the awards that I know it's going to. Not that there are any real fucking awards anymore. Sorry. I think it's going to be the details and the specifics, that. I think one thing that I love about that I've heard is that you can go to a barbershop, but you can't put extra hair on your head. You have to let the hair grow.
Yeah,
it's so realistic.
You have to let your grow.
They're very much going for that realistic aspect of.
It's going to be the immersive world and everything around you that really builds the story. That may be lackluster. I mean, let's look at the last game that they released 5 years ago, GTA 5, a massive world, kind of interactive, lackluster story. If they do the same thing with the added details in Red Dead, it's going to be like an A+ game, I think.
Yeah, and we never know. I mean, you never know what the story is going to be like with this as well. I mean, what I'm excited to see, or what are Morgan's and Marston's interactions going to be? What is their relationship going to be like? Who knows how this game is going to end? This game could end with, speculation, but you could be in a showdown with Marston, and Marston kills Morgan at the end of the game. You never know how this story is going to go. You know where some of these characters end up eventually, but that doesn't help you to understand what happened 10 years ago, because Red Dead Redemption was vague.
I imagine there'll be multiple endings too. I doubt that they would do the one ending type thing for this.
But then if it's a prequel, surely they have to, shoehorn it into a certain direction at some point by the end.
Well, you got to keep in mind this was 10 years ago too, in terms of Red Dead Redemption. This story takes place 10 years. A lot could happen in 10 years.
We know certain characters aren't going to die.
Yeah, but past that, the story in Red Dead Redemption was so vague.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Other than, the only characters that we know are Escuela, Williamson, Dutch, Abigail Marston, and Jack Marston. And that's it. There's so many new characters. The protagonist is a new character. Who knows what's going to happen to him? So, I wouldn't count the story out just yet.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about for Red Dead Redemption 2 is the world, because when I played Red Dead Redemption, I looked at certain scenes and certain moments were just like, wow, this is amazing. And some of the images that have come out, some of the descriptions of the world itself, it looks incredible. The level of detail that they've got in the snow looks amazing. Just the whole I kind of hope that there's a little bit more to the map and more less sort of just way open expanse like there was in Red Dead Redemption. But even without that, the seemingly the quality of what we're going to be seeing and experiencing is what is, bringing me in more so than anything else to see what they can do and what they have been doing in the 5 years between GTA 5 and this from a world building perspective.
Yeah. And the attention to detail doesn't just stop with as far as I know, with the world or the characters. I mean, even the gameplay, like the gunplay, it's been released that you press the trigger once to fire on your controller, and then you press it again to eject the shell or to cock the hammer on your revolver. Like that's how deep.
Is that true?
Yes, that is true. That is true.
I'm gonna cancel my pre-order. I don't think I can deal with that.
You don't like that? It sounds like an effort to make the gunplay slow, and I like slow gunplay. I don't want in Red Dead Redemption 2. I could just go out there, bam, 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 everybody's dead. I don't want that. I want my character to be fragile. I want my shots to need to count. I want the gunplay to be slow. And that's what I hope happens. So
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a no from me, Chief. I don't know.
You want to be a god among men and just deadeye everybody out in the middle.
I don't want it to be GTA 5 level or some hyper fast gunplay, but I don't want to have to manually eject the shell. I understand it gets pretty realistic because you have to clean your guns so that they don't jam. You got to clean your right hand so that your finger doesn't slip off the hammer. But I don't know about that. Like, I'll probably get used to it if that is true. But I don't know.
There's probably an option to turn it off. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't think they would put a feature like that in the game to, for people not to be able to turn it off. But
it's going to be interesting to see what direction they go with it. There's so little that we know right now, even though we've seen some amazing screenshots and some amazing feedback from people who've tried it. It could go any one of multiple ways, and it could go, I was going to say it could go badly and they could botch it in many ways, but I don't think they're going to do that. That would happen more to Red Dead Online, I think, than anything else.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Well, I'll wait and see on Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is going to be the beta is going to happen in November, I think. And
yes.
Could go anywhere. Red Dead Online.
Yeah. And with all of these details, I hope everybody that's getting this game has an external hard drive, because it's going to be a reported 105 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah.
Taken on your console.
All my PS4 has on it is Red Dead Revolver, so I think I'll be okay.
It's going to be a big game.
What do you guys think? Like, how crazy is that?
That is kind of how big games are now. At least
How big is GTA right now with all of its
GTA
updates?
is upwards of 70 gigs. And that's for a 5-year-old game. Can I borrow your internet, please? See, Wilson's going to have trouble with his 1 megabit per second download.
Well, I think the preload starts a week beforehand or something, on the Monday.
But I'm thinking of the Halo, whatever the latest Halo is on Xbox. I think the latest Gears of War 4, Forza Motorsport. Maybe there's a lot of games that are 4K enabled are going over that 100 gigabyte barrier. I think that is what does it more than anything. If it's going to be 4K.
We'll continue the conversation, but I want to see what games I have right now. They're
okay.
Up there. But yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
105 gigabytes.
It's big.
I mean, that's just, how big is this world going to be? Just how big is this world going to be? I'm so excited to find out.
It's too big to fail.
just to finish
It's
on
too,
the
too big to fail.
just to finish on the bit about Red Dead Online, one of the executive people who makes the game or whatever said that some of the best updates that they've done to GTA Online have been with gun running and basically the latest DLCs. So they want to continue that for both GTA and Red Dead Online going forward. And I think what he's meaning with that is the combinations between story and multiplayer. But it's a bit worrying, nevertheless, considering we think that those are the kind of the worst of the DLC.
I can understand from how at the outside looking in, if I were to just describe it to you, that you can buy this large, expansive bunker to start your own weapon smuggling business, where like if I were to describe it to you in a very Rockstar preview sense, from the outside looking in, I just threw a pin across the room. Whoops. From outside looking in,
very professional.
Obviously, that looks like the best that's ever happened. I mean, doesn't the concept, you can own your own nightclubs and do management businesses and collect, blah, 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 Rockstar Newswire. It all sounds great, but then you get into the game and it's not. So, I can understand why he would say that.
Quick update. So, I've got Xbox Game Pass. Not that I use it. It's a waste of $10 every month. Don't buy it. But I am going to download Forza Horizon 4, so that's good. I have Gears of War 4 downloaded, and it's just under 116 gigabytes.
There we go. I thought.
Beautiful.
Good God. The next highest is Forza 7 at 97.6.
Games are big now.
Oh, my God, bro.
And consoles are still shipping with just a 1 terabyte mechanical drive.
Yeah, I've got a 2 terabyte external. So
you don't realize how big games have gotten until something like this happens, and you wow, that's a lot, and then you realize, wait, I've got many other games that are this big as well. What? You mentioned about. I'm guessing that we're done with the Red Dead talk now.
I think so. I think I've said everything I want to say. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. You should go read this preview stuff.
Get hyped, bro. If you like games, which we already know you don't, you're gonna like this one.
Yeah.
If we have a guest next week or the next podcast, then the podcast where we will next have the opportunity to talk about Red Dead Redemption in more detail will be basically the day after it releases. So that should be one to keep in mind.
I might have to call. I'm calling in sick. Ring ring. I'm gonna be busy. Can't come to the podcast. I'll just play the game on the podcast. I'll do both at the same time.
Worth mentioning that the preload will likely start on October the 12th, so you'll have plenty of days to preload it, I guess.
Nice.
But yeah, you mentioned about Game Pass. Another bit of gaming news, because we're moving on to the gaming news section now, but I was expecting it to sort of take most of the podcast, but we've talked about Red Dead for so long. We'll open up the phone bank before we go into the gaming news section. If anybody wants to get in and ask us any questions. Phone bank on Discord for open to regulars.
Get in here. Ask Brough why he doesn't like video games.
I don't know. I don't get it, man. I'm like,
you're becoming an old man. You're just a cynical, sad old man.
Well, I feel like I'm worse at games now. Like, back when I was younger, I'd just be able to used to pick up a game and start playing it and get it pretty quick. And now I'm not old by any stretch of the imagination, but it just everything happens a little bit slower, and
my reflexes are not what
I
they
get
used
it
to
too.
be.
I forget
Back
about
when I was
button
25,
configurations
I could do
and things.
anything.
I feel the same way though. I feel like, I don't know, I go back to games like because Modern Warfare 2 just became backwards compatible recently. And I go back to that. I used to be a monster, and now I'm like, how do I aim down the barrel? 3 sensitivity's a little bit too much for me. I need to go down to 2.
I forgot about
How old are you, RDT?
I'm gonna be 24 on October 10th.
So I don't have that much long, because I went back to Red Dead and I'm still a god at that game. So,
don't worry, it'll come quick.
October 10th, I'll be 24. So Look, send me presents.
But I forgot about Deadeye in Red Dead Redemption more times than I can even imagine, especially in the first half of the game. Like I just flat out
it's
forgot.
such a crucial mechanic.
I know.
And you just
I was going through all these
a
missions
mechanic.
trying to kill people and headshot them on horseback and at speed and stuff, and people were saying in the chat, use Deadeye, and I was like, oh yeah. Like it happens so often that it's quite worrying. But that's how it is now. You can't just jump into a game and do it straight away. I mean, I'm not even 29 yet, but I'm starting to see that, happening. Anyway.
This is going to sound really sadistic, but you know what? I'm not even going to put any qualifiers on it. This is sadistic. My favorite thing to do in Red Dead would be to use the Deadeye, aim at somebody's knee, and then shoot their horse in the head so that their knee would get blown off, their horse would die, and then they would try to run away, but they couldn't.
Oh, that's pretty. I mean, the way that I'm, because you have to get 20 executions in Red Dead, like for an outfit, one of the DLC outfits, and I'm playing on hardcore, so like you die in 2 bullets. Or my playthrough next month is going to be in hardcore. So what I'm doing is I'm shooting people off of their horse. They tumble about 40 feet, and then I run up to them with a shotgun and boom. So
the game is so visceral.
Wow.
And Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be even worse. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Especially that's another back to Red Dead. If you play as bad Morgan, the kill cams are different. Your kill cams are different. Like if you're a bad boy and you do bad things, the kill cam like focuses on your enemy and how gory it is and how awful it is. And if you're good, Morgan, and you help the poor or some such nonsense,
Carry
the
an
camera
old
looks
woman
at
across
you.
the street.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, the camera looks at you and you're like a hero, So
Jesus.
this game, Red Dead Redemption 2, is gonna be so good.
I'm so excited.
Anyway, let's move on. We gotta quit talking about it.
I feel bad because I'm not excited not as excited as everybody around me seems to be.
We're all excited
I know.
enough for you.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, you mentioned about Game Pass, which on the face of it sounds like a fantastic service. It's like Netflix for games where you can just download any game and backwards compatible
Only
games.
any of the
and play
games that
anything.
offered were compelling.
Yeah, I mean, if there were more like Xbox One exclusives, it might make more sense. But there's lots of backwards compatible games that you could play and stuff like that. Do you have Game Pass, IDT? You mentioned it was not worth it. Why?
Keep forgetting to cancel it, but yeah, just like I keep forgetting.
Just
to
like you're
stop
subbed to my
subscribing
channel.
I'm being too harsh. It's cool because there are games on there that I've wanted to play that I wouldn't really want to buy. I don't know. But again, I don't have time to play games anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'll come home and eat dinner and like watch an episode of Ozark and just be like, well, I need to go to bed because I have to work tomorrow. If I lived closer, if my commute wasn't as bad, it would be a fantastic service. And for
If you
people
were-
that have the time to play games, it's
If you were still at school and had all the time in the world.
yeah, I would be
Yeah.
playing tons of
Or
games.
you're a freeloader who lives with his mom, just like I do. I've got plenty of time for video games.
Hi,
Let me
bro.
tell you.
Well, remember
Well, you're not a
uh,
freeloader. You have a job. You're functioning in society. I'm not. I'm a freeloader.
Remember that other thing that PlayStation offer, PS Now, that everybody hates for good reason, because it's basically cloud gaming and you have input lag and all this kind of stuff because you're playing the game through the internet. Actually,
Yeah.
downloading the game. To
I remember
your own
PS
console.
Now very well. Thank you.
What did you play Red Dead Redemption with it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. That must have been rough.
If that's the only way you can access Red Dead Redemption, I say it would be worth it. But please, go buy an Xbox 360 at a pawn shop. Do whatever you got to do to not play it on PlayStation Now. It's so bad. Oh my god, it's such a bad service.
Well, thanks to probably Game Pass being such a good idea and being implemented in the first place, PS Now has changed a little bit. And you can this only works for PS2 and PS4 games.
And that is why it's completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because all the games that I want to use for PS Now were on the PS3, and I can't.
But you can download those games to your console and play them offline. You just have to sign in every week or something. But it's basically emulating what Game Pass does, where you can actually download the game to your console and then play it rather than playing it through the internet. But obviously, because they don't have any emulation on the PS4 for PS3 games, they do for PS2 games, and that's why you can just buy, say, the old GTAs and play them. But you can do it now through PS Now as well, and obviously you can play PS4 games. You can't do it with PS3 games, so there's all the PS3 games that you might want to play isn't going to be a thing on PS Now. And PS Now, how much is Game Pass, did you say? $10 a month?
Yeah.
PS Now,
they have sales all the time. You can get like 3 months for $15 right now. They do like dollar months every once in a while.
Okay. Well, I mean, the latest thing that I've just seen was that the PS Now is £13 per month, which is verging on the sort of $20, $15 to $20 mark. And considering you can't even play PS3 games, it still feels like they've got a way to go with this whole service. But you know, maybe there's hope there that they're seeing that. Yeah, playing games through the internet is not the way to go. It's much better to be able to just download it and then play it.
What is wrong with Sony? Like, what?
They're the top dog. They could do what they want. They don't care.
Yeah, but it seems like they have such a chip on their shoulder after losing the last generation. Like, now they're just like these evil overlords. They're just like, oh, this is the best place to play. Yeah, whatever.
Well, they finally.
Sounds like a good segue.
Yeah, good segue again. Finally, after all this time, and I think, not without difficulty, they finally backed down on crossplay. And Fortnite is going to be their beta test to make sure it all works fine and they're happy with it, which really makes no sense because game devs have already come out and said that they can just flip a switch whenever Sony gives them the go ahead and it's going to work fine. They've already implemented it into the games, so it's just they're wanting to drag it out as long as possible, I imagine. But Fortnite is the first game really now, when you think about it, in all of existence that is cross-platform across every platform. Finally, now that Sony has finally given in, which they should have done. They shouldn't have even been an issue, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, as a PC player, I welcome all of the peasants to come on over and get beaten by people on PC with mouse and keyboard. I welcome all of you to come on over. But that's good. That's good. You know, more people on that game that everybody's playing already. So
it's amazing, isn't it? We tried to give a bit of news about bringing the gaming community together, and everybody can play it together in a nice, happy family, and then you just get this PC.
No, I'm
race.
all for all of us coming together. You just have to realize that you're going to lose at the video game to someone on PC.
Every platform should just tick the box that says I don't want to play against PC players, and then PC players can just play with themselves and everybody else.
They should, because then it would actually be fair to them. Playing against a PC player on a console is not fair.
And then games will die on PC, and then everyone else will have fun.
Because everything is fine on PC.
PS4 does have mouse and keyboard support, and
I think it's for like select games though, or
for Fortnite.
Something.
Fortnite.
Oh, for Fortnite?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and don't
Xbox
people complain about it all the time?
Soon.
That it's unfair.
Yeah, I mean, so.
But no, it's amazing though. PS4 was the final holdout to cross-platform, and now the barriers have come down for Fortnite. Hopefully, it continues with all these other cross-platform games, and it'll
Maybe
be
Red Dead.
Yeah, I mean, Red Dead Online. You never know.
I'm playing on Xbox, so.
I would just like to give a shout out to the comment that says, "I want to play against mobile players only." I got to kick out of that.
But yeah, it's hopefully this is a wonderful new world for gaming. Like, can you imagine the next GTA, for example, if they don't have the stupid FPS improved speed nonsense on PC, but a GTA that can be played cross-platform, you know. Imagine GTA 5 was cross-platform with all the jobs and everything that we've wanted for so long. I mean, they're not going to do it now, but it's good for the future of gaming, I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
Rest in peace to Nonchalant Dominance, but imagine the MCEC with multiple platforms, just the best of the best competing in each division on each platform. That would be incredible.
Yeah, it would. So we'll see how time goes on. Hopefully,
yeah, cross-platform will always be good. I was just memeing. It's great. Yeah, I mean, it really is good. So
the only thing that'll make Nas happy is getting rid of exclusives.
yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Which is never going to happen.
Or no, you can have your console exclusives. Just bring them all to PC.
So that's some good news, but some very bad news in the gaming sphere is Telltale.
Yeah, I didn't read up about this.
Telltale is gone.
Yeah. I feel like whatever choices, much like their video games, whatever choices they made throughout their whole life didn't really matter, and the end was always going to be the same. So,
well, Walking Dead.
That's an original internet joke right there. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's a shame about Telltale. That's sad.
I mean, it's been well covered, you know, all the issues that they had, and the fact that they took too much on and too many games, and they were all the same type of thing, and there wasn't enough variety.
And no one cared about any of them except The Walking Dead and somehow Minecraft, the story mode. That was it.
And I think some of their better ones were the one-offs, like Tales from the Borderlands,
Wolf Among Us,
and Wolf Among Us, and they went too.
What about the Batman one?
Big. I never played it, to be honest. I never heard that it was any good.
Just not my cup of tea. Those types of games.
See, I like those types of games, but I wish they had. Bang, bang. You know, I think a lot of people have said this. I wish there was more choice. Like, the choices actually made a difference.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's to a degree. Telltale games are to a degree where I feel like I can watch a playthrough and get the exact amount of enjoyment.
Yeah,
as I would playing it on my own.
Yeah, that's why I feel like
at that
choices.
Point, what motivation is there for me to buy the game?
There should be more choices that are more impactful on the story, that you can actually have a different experience by playing it than watching it. But it never turned. I mean, the first Walking Dead was a revelation. It was a great story, and it kind of set the tone. But they never did anything beyond that. They never expanded on it. They never made it better. You just kept the same stuff, so rip Telltale.
Detroit Become Human is not how those games should be made. It's time to stop. Detroit Become Human is a bad video game by a crazy man with no talent in story writing. Stop. David Cage
really
games are bad.
Like
Stop.
Yeah. Nas has something against David Cage.
I don't have anything against him. He's just bad. Somehow someone who is so fundamentally bad at writing stories has such a great team and engine and like all these resources, and they're put into this guy. Why? Why? Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Detroit Become Human is a beautiful game. Okay, beautiful game. I saw water come out of a faucet in Detroit Become Human. I thought it was real life. But then...
water. Wait, no, Nas. Water doesn't come out of faucets in Detroit. They don't have water. What are you talking about?
Well, they fixed that in the future.
That's
the androids all fixed it.
Yeah.
But no, stop. Go play Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy, and then try to tell me that David Cage can write a good story. Okay, no, stop.
You just said a bunch of gibberish to me.
I haven't played Detroit Become Human, but
I want to play it for the memes.
I mean, everything that I've heard about it is that it's good. I mean, I'm not.
No, stop. David Cage tries to use the stupid premise of like android racism and tries to draw some kind of social commentary parallel to like actual racial discrimination. Like, he goes to the point of putting the androids on the back of the bus, and like, it's just.
So he made Blade Runner, the game.
No, it's just no.
Have you ever seen Blade Runner?
Yes, I've seen Blade Runner, and no.
It sounds like that's the way you're describing it.
So I didn't see who it was that made the comment, but actually building the game, like Detroit, is a good idea, because the core background behind it, the decision trees and whatnot, are actually really quite good. Obviously, they're limited by the amount of work they have to do on the game to actually make that come to life. But if that could be fleshed out, then that would be
Now I will say
fantastic.
the amount of choices that seem to be in the game and the tree that you get after a mission and stuff like that is pretty interesting. But it's not good. The twist, the twist. You know, saw it coming from a mile away. Like,
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. But never mind.
But the overall story is not good. David Cage is not good. Stop.
So since Telltale have been getting back to the whole Telltale thing, they fired everybody, or basically let everybody go without any
they
kind
fired
of
everybody.
yeah, basically. Well, apart from 25 people who are continuing to work on Minecraft story mode for Netflix. That's their priority to finish before everything shuts down. Not the end of the Walking Dead season 4 isn't going to be finished. They're just going to focus on Minecraft storyboard and then close everything down. But they let everybody go without any kind of severance or anything like that. They told everybody on the morning that 30 minutes to get out and that's the end of it. They just had to leave.
What, were they going to blow up the office?
Get no pay. Yeah, 30
you got
minutes
30 minutes to get out.
Yeah, that's how it was.
It's like a Capcom escape mission from the early 2000s. You got to go back through the whole castle within 2 minutes, or it blows up.
Stuff will remember that.
Just to get.
And that was it. So then news came that they and then they were supposedly hiring right up to the point of them shutting down. Like a week before, they brought on new people. It seemed like the management of Telltale throughout the last, ever since Walking Dead, has been atrocious. Like really bad management, just running the place into the ground. But after all of that, then there was news that popped up about they may have found some other investors to help them continue and finish The Walking Dead. So the last 2 episodes, which are not going to get done. And then all the devs were kind of like, wait, so you've got more money now to finish Walking Dead, which we're not going to be working on. So it's not even going to be, it's going to be a completely new team of people who finish the game, which makes no sense. And you're not giving us any severance money and any, the healthcare lasted for a week, I think it was, and then that was it, over. So now they're getting sued by some of the former employees, or at least one former employee on behalf of all of the others. And
I thought it was a class action. Is it not a class action?
What does that mean? Yeah. I don't know.
You don't sue a lot of people, do you?
No, I don't.
How does Alabama boy know what a class action lawsuit is?
We're in America. A class action lawsuit is basically they bring up a case against a company or person or whatever, and it represents everybody that was wronged by
that's
person.
probably what it was. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a very general description.
American suey thing, yes.
Yeah, that's when, your grandpa dies from mesothelioma, so we got to go get 3,000 other families whose grandpa died to, get the mesothelioma money.
We don't have class action in the UK. Okay, that's probably why I didn't really know what it was all about. Anyway, so yeah, that is happening, and there's certain laws regarding this, and they're not allowed to do what they did. So that's gonna all potentially make it even more drawn out and worse than it even already is. So a really terrible end to Telltale games, to be honest. After making a few good games, some mediocre, but there was so much talent there that it's a shame.
Yeah. Telltale also was really, really restricted by their awful game engine. I don't think that there is an engine so bad that it compares to their what's their engine called? I forget. Is it just the Telltale creation engine or something like that?
Isn't there some sort of weird name to it? I don't know.
Animate.
I don't remember what it was called, but that engine is so bad and so old, and they were still working with it after all this time. So.
No, they had just moved to Unreal 4.
Oh, did they?
That was too late.
Oh, have they not made a game with Unreal 4 then?
No, they have. The last season of The Walking Dead was run on Unreal 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, the one that they're working on, that they're midway through the episodes of.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Okay, well I haven't played that, so that's why.
But you're right. There were stories from some of the devs that the old engine, like, it didn't have like physics modeling in it. So if a character wanted to throw an object to another character, they would have to render that frame by frame, the object flying through the air.
I've heard many stories like that. It's just terrible.
Weeks.
It's such a bad end. Like, that's what I mean. They created the first Walking Dead, which was amazing, and then they didn't make anything any better beyond that. They just sat on it, got all these game licenses, and made the same game with different licenses.
So like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Just keep doing the same thing. That's what I was gonna say. Like, a lot of their games are just licensed already. Like, someone said they were making a Stranger Things game. Why didn't they just? The Wolf Among Us was the only original that they did, or?
Well, I mean, was The Wolf Among Us really original? I mean, I think it was based on a comic book series.
Based on a comic, yeah. It was based on a comic series.
Come on, man! What?
Yeah, I don't think anything that they did was original. It was all licensed.
Batman, Walking Dead, Back to the Future.
The Back to the Future one that came before Walking Dead as well. That was okay, but it kind of dragged on a little bit.
No, I couldn't finish it. I don't even think I got to the first episode. I got bored.
Yeah. It drags. It really does. And the ending
It's a very
doesn't make any sense at all.
Niche genre of game that somehow got very popular.
And I think that we were talking about it earlier. Some of the sort of they used to be called walking simulators or interactive experiences, as they may be called now. They've come on so much, even from indie devs. There's been so many games that I've played that have been incredible as a storytelling experience, and Telltale were previously that, but then they got overtaken, and that's what happens. So, moving on from that, PlayStation Mini is going to be released.
Oh yeah, that thing looks kind of cool.
It looks interesting. It depends what games they have on it, though.
Yeah,
but
it's Silent Hill's on there. That'd be cool.
So they've announced, I think, 7 of the games so far. One of them is Final Fantasy 7. You've got Ridge Racer Type 4, I think, and a few others. But there's going to be 20 games in total that they've not announced all of them yet.
How do we feel about this current trend of releasing like mini consoles?
I don't know.
Depending on the price, I think they're okay.
I mean, they've kind of always been a thing. These mini consoles, like, I've seen them for years, and it just seems to be coming now. I don't know. Nintendo have kicked it up a notch with their own proprietary mini consoles that they've released, and then they don't release enough, and everybody wants them. But I don't know. It seems like I wish that they would just include these things with some level of emulation or backwards compatibility in the latest consoles. Like,
I agree with you there.
I don't like the fact that they just stick 20 random games on a... I mean, obviously they're going to make plenty of money from people buying it, but you know what? Why can't we just have it?
And part of it, I think, with these things is the theme too, like just having it on your shelf.
Yeah,
as a decoration item too.
Yeah, absolute nostalgia factor, especially with the old Nintendo consoles as well. But we were going to move on to like talking a little bit about the Switch Online service that they're releasing, that they've implemented, and it's the same thing there that they've said. The whole virtual console thing that they had on the Wii and the Wii U, which allowed you to emulate and play old Nintendo games, isn't coming to the Switch. And it just boggles my mind because it makes no sense. Because those kind of old games, especially old Nintendo games, the Marios, all that kind of stuff, the Pokemon games, they're perfect to play on a Switch, on the go. All the Game Boy games from past. And they're just... Nintendo seem especially bad at this, that they've got so many old games that they could give people access to, and they just don't. I don't understand why. And
they could sell them to people. People will buy these games over and over again.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just released free money. GoldenEye on the Switch, just the original version of GoldenEye on the Switch.
Yeah, I know.
That would go platinum. Like,
that would. I would buy that. But it's just, it's such a shame that there's so many old games that just don't seem to get the love with backwards compatibility or anything like that. And I don't know why. I don't get it. Speaking of Switch Online, one of the problems that they've had with it is that their service is pretty meager. It's meant to be sort of, you know, the Xbox Live type deal for the Nintendo Switch, so you can't play games online now on the Switch without paying $20 a year for Switch Online service.
That's not that bad, though.
So it's cheaper
$20
than PSN or Xbox Live. But
Yeah.
there's been a lot of backlash over many things. And this one of those being, you know, the whole... You get, as part of the Switch Online service, you get NES games. And they're going to release, you know, it's kind of like the whole games with gold or something like that. You get 1 or 2 games and every month. But again, they've got this treasure trove of old games that they could release, and they've already had emulators with Virtual Console that they've released, and they don't give any of that. They now have cloud saves for games with the Switch Online service.
2011.
I know.
Wow.
But you have
Very
to
impressive.
subscribe to Switch Online service to get the cloud saves. Like it doesn't. It's the same with PSN, but Xbox just give, you know, you can just whether you've got Xbox Live Gold or not, you can use cloud saves. Makes sense. But initially, the Switch Online service was a thing where if you stopped paying for Switch Online, your cloud saves would be deleted immediately.
What?
There is no
deleted.
there was no
Wow.
grace period whatsoever.
Could you get it back if
they've-
you resubscribe?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you resubscribe, that's it. They're gone.
What?
They've since changed their tune on that after the backlash, so it's now 6 months, which I think is similar to PSN.
Well,
But-
Xbox. I know I haven't had an Xbox Live Gold subscription in like 4 or 5 years, and I came back and my cloud save was still there when
Yeah.
I got Xbox Live.
But
Again,
that's it.
so-
You don't. That's what I'm saying with Xbox. You don't even need Xbox Live, and they'll still save your stuff in the cloud. And that's just something that they offer. But some games aren't even going to support cloud saves for Switch Online. So
God damn, bro.
one of them is like Splatoon 2. One of them is the new Pokemon games that are coming out. So even if, you know, especially for a Switch, which is something that you take on the go, you lose the Switch, you've also lost all of your game data, all of the games that you've been playing, it's just gone for those kind of games. And the reason that they've said that they aren't doing that, like that some games don't approve it, is because they don't want some games to be able to, or some people to be able to game the system. So, you know,
What's that even mean?
if you lose a game online, then you reload your previous save and you don't have the credit for losing the game. And that is just so backwards to me. It's like, how is that a reasonable thing to not have cloud save? Surely you have people who can code a game such that that isn't going to be an issue. Why would you just
Obviously
not
not.
have cloud saves across the entire game just because? Oh man, it feels like Nintendo are, you know, 5 years behind. They make such a good system with the Switch, and then so many other things they're just behind the times with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like if you're not going to Nintendo for these massive multiplayer online experiences, and I'm not saying MMOs, I'm saying like for a somewhat competitive online
A lot of people
experience.
play Super Smash Brothers
Please,
and
excuse
Splatoon
me,
and stuff like
Doodle
that.
Monopoly. Doodle Monopoly, hello. You tell us about Mario Kart.
now.
No, but that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Those
highly
are
competitive.
those are more advertised towards children, I would say.
No,
They're-
wrong.
They can be played.
Mario Kart is a man's game for
It's
men.
fun for
Okay.
all ages. of
No, it's
course,
only for
you
men.
know, from 8 to 80. But it's colorful, it's childish, it's cartoony. It's fine to admit that because that's what their whole strategy is.
Incorrect.
Nintendo
have
was my first
three-
system.
I have 3 adult friends that have just bought Switches in the last 3 weeks, so like, it's not
I'm not
me.
saying
I
that
wouldn't buy it,
adults.
but-
I'm not saying adults cannot buy or enjoy Switch. I'm saying the primary target audience is children.
Does that not go for all games?
No, it does not.
No, that's true actually. Yeah, I think more of
Redemption 2.
5-year-olds.
yeah, more of Nintendo's games are targeted towards the younger
I tell you what I
demographic.
want. I want some of that new Animal Crossing. I almost, I wish I had a Nintendo system. Just go play some Animal Crossing. That was the only good game for Nintendo DS. No, I'm saying that I can't because it would be a pointless purchase.
Like, I would love to play the new Luigi's Mansion that's going to come out, but that's not necessarily marketed towards adults. It's a classic character, and people are going to say, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. Star Wars, those are kids' movies. I'm sorry, I have to break it to you.
Wow, so you just got you're ejected from the podcast now.
I'm sorry, they are. They're supposed to be fun for the whole family. I'm sorry. And just because it's nostalgic and you watched it when you were 13 years old in the 80s, why can't that be the same thing that's for a 13-year-old in
Doesn't Darth
2018?
Vader get like scorched in a pool of lava or something, or like?
That was the prequels. We don't talk about the prequels.
Oh, okay. 'Cause that didn't seem like a very kid friendly premise.
No. We don't talk about the prequels.
I don't know anything about Star Wars, so I don't like
well,
Star
then-
Wars.
Yeah, I think the whole Blade Cruiser said it well in the chat. Nintendo does not understand this whole internet thing, which pretty much explains everything they do on it. It seems reasonable. Yeah. But
anyway, my point. I kind of went on a rant there, but my point is that, like, I actually don't even know what my point is. We don't need the online something like in-depth online service for Nintendo. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more important than anything else to be having cloud saves for a handheld console, because saving it on the console doesn't make a difference if you lose it. And I just think
Am I the only one that dislikes the idea of a handheld console? Like, I just see no purpose for a handheld console.
I hate I like the idea of handheld gaming. I just hate, like, I've bought handheld consoles in the past and then started playing them and then just given up because it just annoys me.
I just feel like if I don't keep video gaming right here at this desk, that my whole, like, the little bit of life I have will collapse. Like, I'll be nothing more than someone just looking at their phone like everybody else all the time.
Now it's just leaning on the bar with a Nintendo Switch.
That's it.
I like.
You can lose it too.
I've always liked the idea of handheld gaming, but I think the last handheld device I had was the PSP, and that was god awful to play games on. Really, I didn't like it. But
I quite like the PSP.
The Switch is something completely different. Like, I want a Switch, and the fact that you can
It's too big.
play it, say on the couch or in bed or something, and then dock it and play it on the TV as well. It's that duality that makes it worthwhile, I think. And as I've gotten sort of older and realised that I can't just spend 2-3 hours in a gaming session at the computer or wherever, the idea of playing half an hour on the Switch here and there where I can fit it in seems much more appealing to me. So,
yeah, I guess you have to have a certain type of lifestyle to accommodate for handheld gaming. You don't try to work handheld gaming into your lifestyle that doesn't fit it.
No,
I guess.
I don't think we ever talked about handheld gaming, have we?
Have you held one, Brough, the Switch?
Actually, I have.
With the Joy-Cons attached.
No.
Because I got one for my sister for last Christmas, and the thing that struck me was the right Joy-Con is the most annoying controller I've ever used in my life, because you have to reach your thumb over the analog stick to get to the buttons, and that's the buttons that you use.
Okay.
It's infuriating. I didn't like it as a handheld experience.
I feel like the Pro controller is the way to go with it.
I completely agree. Yeah. But that's an extra cost.
Well, I had a DS when I was like 11, and Animal Crossing was the only game I enjoyed on the DS.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the DS actually. I had a DS, and I played Pokemon Soul Silver on it. It was one of the best
Man,
games I've ever played.
I wish I liked Pokemon, man. Pokemon seems so good, but I just don't like Pokemon. I don't like it. So
The Soul Silver was one of the best games. I almost failed my degree because of that game. I loved it.
We're going back to that.
But
so I guess,
yeah.
Nas, can you forgive Broughy for not liking Red Dead then, if you don't like Pokemon?
Absolutely not.
No wiggle room whatsoever. There's no taking into account that other people can be different. It's if you don't like Red Dead, then that's it. You're dead to me.
If you don't chew Big Red, that's my mentality.
Then F you.
But yeah, I never played anything else on the DS. Back then, again, handheld gaming was good when I was younger on a Game Boy, and then when I was playing games on PS3, Xbox 360, it was like, well, why do I have a handheld device? I mean, it makes no sense because I'm just doing big gaming sessions on an afternoon anyway. And then now it's coming full circle again.
I went purple Game Boy Color, silver Game Boy Advance, red Game Boy Advance SD, I think it was called, the one that flipped open, and then a red DS. And I always wanted a PSP. I never got it.
You didn't miss out on much.
Yeah, from what I know.
I remember playing Liberty City Stories on the PSP, and it took away from the game, to be honest.
Yeah, GTA wasn't good on that system,
No.
but I'll tell you what was good on the PSP was Burnout. Oh,
yeah.
It was so good on the PSP, the Burnout
Okay.
version that they did. Yeah, it was great. Loved playing that.
SP, that's what it was
SP,
called.
yes. I think I've still got a Game Boy Advance SP. I have the
Oh
backlit
boy,
one.
is this
I've
my
still got my
delivery?
PSP. I could send it to you. RDT.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give it to RDT. He'll finally
And
get
my
it.
PS Vita. I could bundle them together if you like. I think that's what it was called, Gear Viper. Burnout Legends, possibly. Yeah, it was really good.
Chinatown Wars was on, wasn't it? Was it?
That was DS.
That was DS, yeah.
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 I've heard that's really good. I've heard it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I've heard it's meant to be a very good game.
The speed run of the game is like 2 minutes long, which
Wow.
is pretty impressive. Apparently, like Josh was showing me this the other day, like apparently if you like you like quit the game mid like loading screen, something basically unlocks all the missions at the same time, and then you just go do the
Okay.
last mission. It's pretty
Okay.
good. Enjoyable speed run, Chinatown Wars.
Okay. The only last bit of gaming news that I have on here, which isn't really gaming news, but it's in the theme of probably this whole podcast, or at least how it's felt. Nos's hate to
Oh
Spider-Man.
yeah, I hate Spider-Man now. I unlocked one.
son of a
I unlocked
bitch.
one more collectible, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to play this video game anymore. I haven't had fun in roughly 6 hours. I'm done.
So, did you complete the story? Because I haven't.
No.
I'm not that far.
No,
You
I
didn't?
haven't completed. No, I couldn't even push that far. It's just like
just-
I'm not having fun anymore. I'm done with this game.
So you just decided to go off and get collectibles, and you found that boring.
No, I would get collectibles as I unlock them in the story, because I know if I get to the end of the story and then I have 18 hours of collectibles, then I'm not going to do them.
But why didn't you
And-
just forgo the collectibles and do the story?
I can't just not experience content in a video game. I have to do everything.
I
But you
tend
know-
to agree that there's too many collectibles in it. There's far too many.
But the thing is now, because you have this mindset that you need to do all the collectibles as soon as they become apparent, you're gonna miss out on the story of the game because you'll get bored doing something that's a side mission that you don't have to do. Like, you could just do the story and experience
No,
the story.
I can't just do the story. You can't. One does not simply just do the story.
I did for
You
Red
don't-
Dead Redemption, and I had a great
Yes,
time.
you were wrong. You were wrong, and you came out disliking the game. Okay.
I can't believe this. I
just stopped having fun. Like, it got to the point where the combat wasn't even fun anymore. Nothing was fun about the game, and I hate Spider-Man as a character. I don't like the world, and I just quit the game. I didn't like.
Why do you hate Spider-Man?
Because he's annoying, RDT. He's an annoying
How is he-
superhero.
How is he annoying? I
He
need to
just
know.
is. His constant quips. Stop.
That's
If
his
I
character.
hear that I'm gonna swing by one more time, I'm gonna throw my PlayStation 4 out of my window.
Yeah, I would agree with Nos that Spider-Man's quips are a bit ridiculous and get on my nerves. But
I just gotta swing by. Just
this
gonna,
version
a web of lies. Oh.
This version of Spider-Man on PS4 for me, not too bad. I can bear it. I can get on with it. The thing that really annoyed me is about halfway through the game you unlock fast travel. I'm like, what? Why would I need fast travel? I'm Spider-Man. It's really fun swinging through the city. Get away with your fast travel game.
To be fair, the cutscenes when you fast travel are pretty good. If Spider-Man just casually on the subway, it was pretty good.
Yeah, but why would you use it? Like that's
exactly.
Because
the movement system is so much fun.
It got old. It got old. I'm sorry. The movement system even got old at that point.
Disagree.
Everything got old. Everything about the game overstayed its welcome with me.
Nas, I feel like even if you got your Miata, you'd be like, I'm over these pop-up headlights.
Well, if my Miata came with a treasure list of a scavenger hunt that I've got to go do 1,000,000 challenges.
It will, because it's
then maybe
$5,000 and it's from 1997. It's gonna break down. You're gonna have to go across the country to get a new transistor radio or whatever the hell you need to put in your goddamn.
Is that what powers the 1997 Mazda Miata?
I'm not a car guy.
Radio.
This is exactly correct about what Thieves in the Night says in the chat. Nos hates everything. Can't understand when someone doesn't like something.
What? That's an incorrect description of me. That's
100% correct.
100% accurate.
Correct.
Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Anyway, in closing, I hate Spider-Man now. I don't like the game. I went from, that game looks great, to this game really isn't as great as everybody thinks it is, but it's still a great game, to this is the final collectible, I'm done. Because when I got to the stupid Call of Duty World at War zombie weapon boxes with stupid challenges in them, where you had to swing behind some drone for no reason, and then stealth. I hated stealth. I just don't.
You don't have to do it, though.
Yes, I do.
You're subjecting
I am
yourself
missing out
to all
on
the bad
content.
parts.
I must extract all of the content from the
But it's
video
not
game.
content you like. That's like...
It should be, though. It should be content that I like. And if it's not content I like, then I don't play the game. Which is what I
like Game
Why
of
don't you
Thrones.
play the bits that you like?
Yeah, well,
because I really didn't like anything that much about the game.
I think you don't. I think that you're saying that you didn't really enjoy the game, but you're masking it by saying that you didn't like the collectibles because you don't want to annoy people saying that you didn't like the game, like I just did with Red Dead Redemption.
Guys, this is getting too complicated. It's like
No, I don't think that's...
Look,
no.
look. Zexy in the chat has come in and said, "When's it finishing? I need food. I need a hug." So let us move on.
Ugh.
Let's get Zexy on the podcast.
She just determines the pace of the podcast now because she's your fiance and you're gonna get married and live the rest of your life together. And meanwhile, we're just this fleeting podcast that's probably gonna be over by the end of the year because you don't like us anymore and we're not even that funny or entertaining and nobody watches us and they just have a retention rate of 1 minute and 30 seconds. And honestly, I don't even like doing this anymore because it's something I have to do every other Saturday and nobody really likes me anyway. And just find me annoying, and I just try to come up with these random ass things.
Speak for yourself. I think I'm hilarious. So, moving on.
Can we send
RDT dropping the
like,
knowledge?
a hug or something?
Yeah, I think it's RDT who needs the hug.
Yeah, that's what I said. Send
Yeah.
RDT a hug.
Yeah. Wow.
Or a
RDT.
PSP.
Everybody in the comment section, hugs for RDT, please.
I mean,
Goddamn.
he's not inaccurate, to be fair.
do,
but- the pre-show
Speaking of
there was a reference to something RDT said there in the pre-show. Oh yeah, the audience retention. We talked about that in the pre-show for those who are Patreon supporters. You get to see it
insight.
a week early, but it'll be up on in a week's time on the second channel for everyone who isn't a Patreon supporter.
Yes, but speaking of comments,
Yes.
moving along, guys.
Last episode follow-up and comments. Let's.
Yes. Let's see if I can find
Nothing-
I had a comment that I linked
shouted
because
out to me.
Oh yeah, I had one from Amsock T that said, "I love Broughy, not Nos." I saw it.
That definitely goes to the
Yazzoed
theme
it.
of this episode.
And I
Because
absolutely had to have it.
what if I just pooed all over? I just pooed. Let's see. Opinions in general. Detroit Become Human's a terrible game. I hate Spider-Man. I don't like handheld gaming. So really, no one's going to like me now. If the 5 people that liked me in the podcast, they're definitely not going to like me anymore.
And you disliked all those things and bitched about it, but then couldn't accept that I was in between on Red Dead Redemption. So you've
because
lost.
You're fundamentally wrong.
See?
Oh man. All right.
Loads. That was...
How many? How many? What are we saying? Lods.
Huh?
Lod was the comment.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a good meme.
Phil has kindly done his homework again.
Yeah.
And we have 91 comments in total at the time of his analysis. How many do you think mentioned LODs? The specific way that Brough wanted it. Capital L-O-D, small s.
29.
12.
No, I think this was a higher engagement on that
So
one.
we've got 12, 29, and...
It was out of 91. I'm going to say, why don't we just go with 34?
Excellent. So this week's winner is RDT, because the correct answer was 43.
Ah,
Hey,
higher than
wow.
expected.
See?
Well done,
That's
everybody.
much,
Yeah.
Impressive.
higher than I thought.
Yeah, it was actually mentioned 57 times in total, but I think that was mainly down to a comment from Mr. or Mrs. Link's Drifts, who says, "Personally, I hope Robin produces lots more videos in the future. His car have lots of details which make them lots better than anything Rockstar ever puts out, and they put out lots of stuff. Also, I've been looking at lots of Evo 8s and Evo 9s because I think they're a good way to invest lots of cash and end up with a car that breaks down lots. Anything more than lots of power. Can we also notice Nos's beard has lots of density now? There's lots of difference now compared to when he started. It's kind of scary. Think about the lots of days since we first saw young Nos on the first podcast, lots of podcasts ago. Finally, hi Phil. I hope you enjoyed counting lots of lods, so we know how many lods were commented this week. I'm guessing it will be lods. Well done.
That was a lot of lods in one comment, and I'm questioning because Phil Hoff put in the chat, "No, Hammer, you got that wrong." And for there to be 40 odd comments with lods and then only 50 mentions, that was definitely more than 10 mentions in one comment.
Yeah.
I'm calling this into question.
Wait, what?
Anybody have a calculator?
GTA Wise
Also, I
guy
think
came in
Robin
the
is-
chat.
Wait, does anyone have a degree here? Does anyone have a degree?
I think Robin is still in the Choking Hazard Skype call.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
GTA
well, we
Wise
spoke
guy
about
said
that.
in the chat, "Did you guys try phoning me on Skype
Yeah,
at
I
like
was-
6:30?" Yeah, it's
Sounds
because
like
I always
don't worry about it.
I always forget to take the guest out of the Skype call for the next week, and then I just call the chat, and it calls everybody. So sorry.
Yeah, we called Mr. Boss like 4 times by accident.
Did we?
True story.
But I actually wanted to talk to him. I wanted to yell at him.
But anyway.
He
Yes,
didn't answer though. We called him on a Thursday. I don't know where he could have been. Called him on a Thursday once. He didn't answer.
But I believe it's now
Chick-fil-A.
time for some viewers' questions, and we do have one person that's been in the phone bank since the very beginning. The light has been on the phone bank dashboard since the very beginning.
Since the very beginning of the podcast.
Since before the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Since we first
Jesus.
got into chat.
Okay.
So I think
Wow.
it's time we probably brought him in. It's Mr. Major Copyright.
Oh, God.
Hello, caller on the Choking Hazard podcast, the show where I'm right and you're wrong. Who's your question for? What's your question?
For everyone. So if you could be a voice actor in any game franchise, what would it be? And what kind of character would you like to be?
Everyone else answer before me, because I have my answer.
Do we retain our own voices?
Of course.
So
That's the point.
okay. Ooh.
It's a tough one. I think I'd probably be like a regular at a bar during like a story-driven game or like a Max Payne type game where they go in and they're always kind of they have a apartment or a room in the back of the bar, and I'm just sitting in the corner going like, "Hey, John," I'll just drink a bunch of beer. They're like, "God, did you hear about those people that are killed down on 34th Street?"
So you'd give the side quest. You'd be a side quest character, like, and then I have to go investigate the 34th Street murders.
Yeah,
you know, and get back to you.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I am struggling to think. I'm not very good with things like this. Trying to think this sort of thing.
Do you be good as like a do you remember the old Toka Race Driver games where you got like a
Oh no, I
know
what I want you as. I want you as my co-driver in Dirt Rally. That's what I want you to be the voice actor for.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I'll accept that. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Or a personality core in Portal. Yeah, I like that one too.
I don't really care what setting or video game it is. I just want to be the embodiment of American ignorance. Just that's the role I want to play. I feel like I could play that one pretty good. So pretty well, pretty good, pretty okay. So I just whether I'm a cowboy doesn't really matter. I just want to be a dumb American. So I want to play myself.
I just wish these Puerto Ricans would come to this country legally.
Instead of hopping over that wall, and Puerto Ricans, they just hop right over that wall we built. And
Nos would do good at that. Yeah, that's.
For anyone that doesn't understand, for anyone who might be out of loop, we're not actually racist, and Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So,
and plus they're an island, so I don't think a wall would really keep them. I don't think that helps.
Interesting question, Copyright. Who's next?
All right, we've got the illustrious Mr. GTA man.
Howdy, caller. Welcome to the RDR hype train. I'm your conductor. Who's your question for, and what's your question?
Just a moment, lady. Hey, Vlad! Stop putting the shotgun against the fox's face in that video game. It's you sadistic bastard. Stop doing that.
GTA man, please. What are you doing? What's your question?
I mean, I gotta say, I was kind of fantasizing about that when I saw the fuck. Anyway, quick question: if you could bring any feature from GTA Online to Red Dead Online, what would it be and why? Or Red Dead Redemption, because Nos is the only one that played that here, I think.
No.
Red Dead Redemption Online. Yes, yeah, you played that a little bit. Any feature? I'm gonna let's just restrict it to GTA Online because I think that'll be harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there any redeeming features in GTA Online? Yeah, we need microtransactions.
Chrome paint, orbital cannon, it's all coming out now in the chat.
I don't know. I think the level of property ownership you can have in GTA Online is impressive. So, like, if I just, owned ranches all over the map and stuff, that'd be kind of cool.
That's I like that. That's a good idea. I'm trying to think of any redeeming features of GTA Online that I'd want to see in the next game.
But there are none.
When GTA Men pitched the question, I immediately said the creator.
Oh creator, yeah. Well, that only as long as it's like we could actually finally have like a proper mission or gang hideout creator. Yeah. I mean, if it's just team deathmatches and stuff, I mean, I guess if the combat's good, then yeah, that would be something I would want. But
I think I've got it. Heists, multiplayer heists in the open world of Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Online. Sorry, I think that's what I would want to play.
It's more likely going to be a thing already. And like probably. About the mission creator, I think the creator itself could, like, I mean, that's pretty, I guess, it's pretty much a given that's going to come back. But I feel like with a mission creator, what you're going to end up with like a lot of other games too, is that people are just going to create jobs that are just sorely made, to make money with. Like you had with the creator back in the day, or till this day still, the only thing people are doing with it is just creating money in RP glitches. So I guess in that regard, with GTA Online, you obviously have the races and deathmatch and stuff. But we don't know much about Red Dead Online yet, and I'm assuming that it's not going to have a lot of focus on races, but more on PvP. So
Yeah.
Really curious to see as well how people are going to respond to that, because I'm sure it's a really different kind of vibe than you're used to driving your F620 and shit like that, because that's a current meme here.
No, that's an old meme. That is not the current meme.
Not
older
that
than me.
Sorry, what was the question?
If you like soup, and what flavor you would be if you were one.
What would I get rid of?
I saw that the other day.
What would I get rid of in GTA?
No, what would you bring from GTA Online to Red Dead Online?
Oh. That's a tough one.
I found it tough as well. There's very little when you think about it.
Cars, maybe?
Cars. Some old-timey cars. Yeah.
Yes.
I really wished I could have driven that car at the end of Red Dead 1.
If Red Dead Redemption was on PC, you could.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, everybody wanted to drive the car. I know I wanted to drive the car. Everybody did.
Yeah.
I think it's
I don't
drivable through PS3.
I don't think there's anything
footage of it
from GTA Online that I would bring to our Red Dead Redemption 2.
You just want it to be starting afresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's fair.
Yeah,
fair,
that's
fair.
reasonable. Cheers, GTA, man. Interesting
Thank
question.
you for the question.
Sorry, I got a delivery.
Oh, is that why you left?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's time for your Apple Juice Minute, if you know. I don't
What?
know.
Oh, really?
I don't know what you're wearing.
Was the delivery in
what do you
relation to your apple juice minute? By any
No.
chance? Oh,
I
thought it
don't know
was
what you're
part
talking
of the
about.
bit.
What do you
I'm
mean,
sorry.
What am I wearing?
Sit
What?
down.
Rough.
What are you wearing? What is that? Is that some?
I've just been wearing this the whole time. What are you
Is
talking
that
about?
American football or something?
Have you been wearing that the whole time?
Yeah.
I think he has.
Yeah. You don't.
I genuinely have. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it was you
heard
just coming back into the screen and it's been more in my face and noticed it.
Yeah, he's been wearing it the whole time.
I thought you'd changed it, like when you were gone.
No,
Okay.
He's been wearing it the whole time. Are you
don't-
are
you
you
don't
really
remember
that
this?
unobservant?
I guess. I must be. Maybe, I don't know what's going on with me anymore. That's it.
Anyway,
End it all.
today on this edition of RDT's Apple Juice Minute, we have a great symbolic beer. I may have done this already. I don't even know. I just picked out something that I thought would be interesting with a fun little name. It's by the Boston Beer Company, aka Sam Adams, and they named it after the incredible event of kicking you pansy English out of our country so that we could establish the greatest country in the entire world, where Carson Wentz was born and bred in North Dakota and became the greatest quarterback to ever grace the football field. Nas is going to like this, even though it's a Boston company. It represents that spirit that everyone in the United States loves, and that's the rebel spirit.
Oh yeah!
Rebel IPA. The
Can I get a
North
K
is
Cone in the
still
chat,
alive.
brother?
Wait, let's freaking drink. It's an IPA from Sam Adams Brewery. I just suddenly became from the South, and we're gonna drink it now, and it's good. And yeah, it's been sitting down here for an hour and a half, and it's warm. No, an hour and 40 minutes. So it is very good, though.
You have not been wearing that t-shirt all the way through. I've just looked at a
Yes,
clip
he has.
from an hour ago, and we were wearing a pink shirt.
Come on, why did you have to ruin
Scumbags.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
it? He's been wearing it the whole time.
Don't start with me.
I was at. It's funny.
Here,
that this was
never
in
mind about
conjunction.
being a voice actor. RDT could be a professional actor. That was some quality. Just sticking to the bit. Sticking hard to the bit.
Sticking to
It's
it.
funny
Yeah.
that this is worn in conjunction. That this came literally. I got the text on my phone, 3:38. So. 7 minutes ago.
Genuinely, that was what you went and got.
This was my delivery.
Okay.
I
That's
was
an
at-
excellent shirt.
Last Saturday, I was in Philadelphia for a craft beer festival at the Eagle Stadium, and I saw a girl, pretty girl. was distracted by the shirt, and I said, "Oh my God, where did you get that shirt?" She said, "I don't know. Isn't it great? I just Googled Carson Wentz face shirt and bought it." And I was standing in the parking lot. I was like, "Shut up! I'm buying it right now." I was on my phone. I had to do a bunch of stuff, and she just started like walking away. I was like, "Oh, yeah, whatever." And I bought the shirt. And it came today.
My man.
And I love it. Yeah.
And worked in nicely to the bit.
The question is though, do you like beer? Do you like beer as much as
as what? Hold on, wait, what?
Do you like beer?
I 100% thought that this was just going to be my apple juice minute. If it ever loads, which it won't because my phone is trash.
This is that awkward moment where like your phone doesn't load.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer. You've probably had beers, Senator, each week.
I love how genuine you've probably had beers, Senator. If that guy wasn't such a scumbag, which we probably shouldn't get into politics, but
definitely not get into politics.
Man, I can't wait for that old Brett. He's a good old boy. Let me tell you, this is a falsehood accusations on my boy Kavanaugh. Okay, I mean, you can't judge a man by what he does. I mean, come on,
by his actions. No.
Let us move swiftly on before this. No, but actually, nobody makes it to this part of the podcast anyway.
A man by his actions and his intentions, you can't do that.
Oh no! I've just realised. I was going to say people don't make it to this part of the podcast anyway, so they're not going to be offended. But as we saw in the the pre-show, people come to this part of the podcast specifically to seek it out, so they're going to see it anyway because it's Choke of the Week time.
Oh, I haven't done this in a while.
Choke of the Week.
Choke of the Week. There we go.
That wasn't bad. Not bad.
So, I haven't watched these yet.
I have.
So, are you guys ready to start?
No.
No?
I want to watch it again.
The pre-show isn't live streamed, but it does go up on random bits every other Monday that the podcast isn't live. Like, so this will be up on Monday.
Or you can pay $1 to watch it.
Or you can pay $1 on Patreon to watch it half an hour before the podcast goes up on Monday.
Yes.
All right. Are we ready?
Almost.
Nos, are you ready? You're the one who, talks through these things. No, nobody's ready.
Okay, we're ready.
I'm ready. Okay. I'm ready.
I'm starting it now.
All right.
Premium race.
He's in fourth.
Why do you say, Nuts, are you ready? You're the one who commentates on it, and then you just talk the whole time. You go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go.
You go.
All right, he's going around in 2. He's in fourth place in the premium race. Yeah. He paid $20K to get into this race, so obviously, oh shit, he's going up into third place. He's a second boy.
Mariah's pretty fast.
Yeah, this prize is a fast little boy, and
fast
that means
boy,
that he's not
boy.
going to lose his 20K, and instead he's going to make 10K if he holds this second place. But okay, all right. Strike.
Oh, strike.
A little more like a spare to me.
But he's fine, still in second.
He's fine, still in second, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a tree. He spun around, saved it though. He's good.
Still fine. And should have taken a bike.
Wow.
This one really
right into the bike rack.
This one just made me frustrated to watch.
Yeah, that was frustrating to watch. Like 3 chokes in one go.
Yeah,
shit.
It was rough.
All right, so next up we got a Sultan race.
Ugh, I hate this car.
I like the Sultan.
No, Sultan is a terrible economy car.
This made me think. Watching this clip made me think of a terrible race event, and that would be all pink cars with slipstream, and it'd just be like pink slips.
Good.
Pretty good one.
So the guy's been in first since the very start of the race, after making a good start.
The entire first lap. So.
Yeah, first lap. Yeah.
He had an incident there, but it could have been worse. He just rolled over a little bit.
Yeah.
Due to his terrible Sultan understeering because it's a bad car. Now we've got some sped up footage. That's always good.
Hitting that VTEC.
Oh.
And I don't know how he could have possibly gotten that turn more wrong. I mean, Like that's the worst I've ever seen that turn.
I've made that turn on multiple tracks all through the years, and I don't think I've ever gone that wide.
No,
he was using the curb as his point, as his apex point, which he shouldn't have. But
no. And then he's gonna do it again.
Oh, he actually hits the barrier. I mean, I've hit the barrier before, at least, but yeah, that's definitely saying goodbye to first place.
Yes, he hates.
And here we are at the very end. The finish line is right there. And oh wait, no, yeah, I'm getting.
You get second.
I think it's next though. So second place. Hold on. Now this next one here. This is Mr. B-Tree.
What happened to not saying things before?
Oh
God.
No, it's always
his name is right there on the screen.
Top of the screen.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll let you have a pass on that one.
Man, look, all right, my first grade teacher told me to practice my reading skills by reading anything I see. So
it was in a random all race on 5. The lag hit him. He was in the lag. He had a lag hit on somebody. Had to wait. Lost the lead. But then regained it again. So that's all right.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine.
He got some good RNG as well. Good skill Spectre. There.
He's doing all right. He's doing well in this random all race.
Yeah, not too bad.
And for anyone who's listening to this, feel free to check out. That's why we get more retention on that bit, because everyone who listens comes and watches the video to see the choke.
Because this isn't. There's not much to commentate over right now.
No, he's just driving.
No.
So the race is coming to an end. He's on the final part of the final straight in the lead.
On the final lap.
He's crashed at the chicane, but I mean he's still right there. I mean, oh no.
Oh, here comes everybody.
Oh, he gets beaten right at the line. Oh wow. Rough. That must have been like a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, it feels bad.
Oh. Yeah, that's bad.
Feels very bad there.
So, everybody vote in the chat. The
choke 1, 2, or Mr.
1, 2, or 3. And we'll decide which one is. We'll see which is your favorite. I think I have a favorite.
I do too.
I'm torn.
I do too, he says with his cracking voice.
They're all very good, and Hammer was telling us beforehand that this is a perfect example of how you should always resubmit chokes if they didn't get into the top 3 in any given week, because 2 of the 3 chokes from this week were previous submissions. So, we always choose the best 3 chokes to feature, and then you guys choose which one is your number 1. But if your choke doesn't make it into the top 3, that might just be because there was a lot of good chokes that week. So feel free to resubmit it. And,
yes, don't feel free. You were compelled to resubmit. Okay. Keep submitting. Wow. We only get like 5 submissions a week, okay? So you need to really.
And it's not even choke of the week anymore. It's choke of every 2 weeks, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad, honestly. So please resubmit them. Even if you win the week, just submit again. Same clip.
Honestly, like every episode we do is closing in on 2 hours.
Yeah,
we have plenty of stuff to discuss, and I think we've gotten a lot better at talking and filling up voids, any spaces that may not have conversation.
I think we've gotten better at podcasting in general.
Speak for yourself. I think this show's been downhill since day 1.
Since day 1. Since the face reveal.
Ever since Nas retired the hat, that was it.
That was it, yeah. We got no whiteboard anymore, no hat.
The hat's still back there.
Yeah.
We have a shirt with Carson Wentz's face on it a bunch of times, though, so that's pretty cool.
If anybody
I need to get one
makes
like
it
that,
to this
but
point...
It's like Nick Saban or Jalen Hurts or something.
The link to submit your chokes is in the description of all the videos. So you've gotten better at triggering NOS. That's true. We waste a lot of time on NOS being triggered, I think.
I agree that you waste a lot of time. You quit triggering me. Just agree with me. Like, just agree.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only option. Either agree with everything that you say, or
right.
have maximum triggering.
Yes.
Yeah. Earlier, I think Percy said it in the chat. He was like, "Don't you guys ever agree on something?" I was like, "You know how boring of a podcast it would be if everything we were just like." Yeah, you're completely right.
Yeah, I think there has been one or two
Next
things
topic.
every so often, and it doesn't turn into a very good discussion. It's just like we move on to something else.
Yeah, like with what are some topics that
How bad GTA is now. Like
Well, that
doesn't
and-
last very long anymore when we bring that up.
Yeah.
Thank God. Anyway, we have a winner.
All right, like, give us the results.
Oh, we do? Okay. Well,
Oh yeah, we'll give our results. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
My
You're right.
favorite was
We're
Choke
getting
3.
better at
What is-
podcasting. No, I've forgotten a feature that we do every fucking week.
Hey, come on
I'm
now.
just happy. I'm just
please,
happy he
T-List.
calls us his co-hosts at this point. He used to call us his guests. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember the first few episodes.
gosh.
And my guests
With episode
tonight. No way.
24 of the Choking Hazard podcast, and here are my guests.
Oh god, we've been through some times. My favorite is Choke 3.
All right.
You're wrong.
I agree.
I like Choke 1.
I
think-
agree with RDT. I'm on his side.
Yes. High five virtually through the camera, because that's how this podcast is going to go from now on.
The Skype delay is too much.
Dude, I haven't eaten anything all day, so these 2 beers that I've had, I'm kind of buzzed.
That is relevant to the choke, but thank you.
This has
Did-
been great.
Did our decisions on chokes change anything on the results?
Didn't spur any more votes to come in. No.
No, I mean like in the results of the voting as it's gone. Like, did it?
Like, did our 2 votes for one propel it to
Oh, no.
the number 1
No,
spot?
no, no.
Okay.
No,
Is there
there's
a clear-
Because it was
there's
already
one,
the winner,
One
right?
clear winner.
Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
in third place was choke number 2, which was the Pink Sultans, that one corner.
Pink slips.
That was submitted by the G of D. And the winner of this week's Choke of the Week, week 37, is Mr. B-Tree with the Tricky Chicane.
Congratulations, Mr. Beatree.
Well done,
Wait,
Mr.
hold,
Beach.
wait,
job,
boo,
Mr.
boo,
Don't boo.
boo.
Why? He
Boo.
sucks. He choked.
So,
We say it
that-
respectfully. You are terrible. Well done for being awful.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my pick, so...
Yeah, exactly.
like-
so boo.
And who was
Like-
our second choke from?
So the second joke was from Matty H.
Matty
182.
Which was choke number
Fellow
1, but second place.
Yeah, I voted for choke number 1 as well. So
I liked
the
choke
thing.
number 1, but I felt like choke number 3 was so close to the end.
I
like
feel
he
like
was...
choke number 1 just like created an emotion of frustration and anger inside of me, and when a choke does that, then.
But he
it
wasn't in the
most
lead.
likely.
I mean, he wasn't winning the race. He still finished third. Like, the first one was
But choke
the last
one-
one was a proper choke. He was about to win the race in a random all race of all things, and even after choking, it
So
looked like he was
random.
still gonna win until a tenth of a second, right at the line, he got beaten.
Okay, so here's the thing. No, the thing that I like about choke number 1 is that it had real world monetary implications.
Yeah.
Perhaps if he had, maybe that was his 20K. He was like, oh, if I win this, I won't have to buy $3,000 worth of shark cards and put my family into debt. But since he didn't win, now he has to live on the streets, bro. Are you happy with that? That's the biggest choke of all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Come on.
God.
I agree with RDT. You
I
need to get that
also
printed on a shirt.
agree with RDT.
I am starting to feel a pattern developing in these podcasts, and I'm
Kick
not
Broughy
liking it.
off. Take over his Twitch channel. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, send me your stream key, please.
Goodbye. Time to end.
Goodbye. It's been fun.
Thanks for watching,
Hi.
everybody.
Please come watch my Twitch
Oh,
channel. I've
yeah,
got a
you
big
gotta-
event coming up, and I forgot
Oh,
to
yeah,
promote
okay,
it at the
okay.
beginning. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
I'll
Nas
promote
has
it
a big
now.
month.
Yeah,
Nas
it's a
has to
big
promote
month.
himself again.
Yes. Look, this will be it. All right. And
This
if
is
you're
where you put the
watching this,
mid-roll.
if it's Monday and you're watching
People
this,
click off.
I'm live right now. Click off of this video and go watch me I'm streaming right this second. Right now. Click it. Click it. Okay.
Well,
please.
this is gonna age horribly.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Monday, or
if it's Monday at 12 and you're watching 2 hours of us,
yes,
Yeah.
then you're streaming.
if I'm not streaming, then click it and go follow me because it's a big month. Especially, I'm doing a 100% hardcore playthrough of Red Dead Redemption. It's going to be very good. I have a big route. I even have a spreadsheet. I learned from the best, the Brough man. All right,
So yeah, when are you streaming? When are you streaming on Monday? What times?
6 p.m. UTC, which is 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 California time.
That's actually, yeah.
Perfect for when the video will be ended.
Yeah, the video will be ending and you'll be starting.
Are you doing some sort of like super immersive route through Red Dead or something?
Yes, okay. I am. Yes, I am. So, in fact, you know what? I will post the sheet in the chat. The chat has got to see.
I can't believe you've actually had a spreadsheet and routed it all out.
Yes, I have. It's
Nas
going to be good.
Sugar_free_Nos.
It's linked in the description of all the podcasts on YouTube.
This is why we need our links underneath our little templates. This is why.
There you go. So you can tell you, I made a GTA forums thread about this sheet. That's how important the sheet is. Let me tell you, it's very good. It's a very good route, very good sheet. The point of the playthrough is instead of
it's the best.
It's the best
sheet. It's Red Dead Redemption. Okay.
Yeah.
We go to Mexico. They come to us.
But the idea is I'm mixing all the extra content into the story instead of doing the story and then doing all the extra content. Much like I tried to do with Spider-Man and it did not work. So, but it will work with Red Dead Redemption. It will work.
So Phil rightly pointed out we do need a word for the end of the podcast, and I think it should be Nos is sheet.
Nos is sheet.
I disagree.
No. Nos is sheet.
I disagree.
Sheet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, Nos is like not.
Nos's. Nos's sheet.
No.
No.
Nos
okay,
is sheet.
You're doing Nos is sheet. That's what I thought you said originally, and then you corrected us, and I thought, well, obviously that wasn't it.
Raving's got the idea. Well done,
Yeah, well, that's what we said first.
Congratulations. I totally understand it, but I think it's stupid.
Fair enough. Suggest something
it should
else.
Be horse testicles, and we all know it.
Yeah, it should actually.
I agree.
It should be horse testicles.
Horse testicles is the word.
All right, let us finish this nightmare of a podcast.
Yeah.
It's been great for me.
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Probably with a guest, maybe with a guest, hopefully with a guest, maybe not. We'll see.
Please watch my stream. I'm begging you, please. if this month doesn't go well and RDR 2 doesn't go well, I will have to go get a real job, and we can't do that. Please. Please, I'm begging you.
Good Lord.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Whoa. Wait, hold on. Jesus.
Can we just finish?
No, because you always say, you want to say goodbye, guys, and then I go, bye, guys. And Nas hijacked that from me. Bye, guys. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Goodbye, guys. See you all later. See you in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.